What exactly is addiction? Is it merely a habit, a preference, or is it something deeper? Something that binds the mind and soul in chains that seem impossible to break? At its core, addiction is not just about substance abuse or compulsive behaviors. It is about control. It is the unseen force that pulls people toward actions they know will hurt them, yet they feel powerless to stop. But what causes it? Why do so many people find themselves trapped, unable to break free? Addiction is not born in isolation. It is created, nurtured, and reinforced by forces both internal and external. It starts as a simple indulgence, a momentary escape, a quick pleasure, but over time, that pleasure becomes a need, a craving, and soon it transforms into a master demanding submission. Please subscribe to our channel for more insightful content on addiction and recovery. But what leads to addiction? Is it loneliness? Is it stress? Is it the pressure of society or the void left by unresolved pain? Let's journey into the 10 most powerful addictions that are consuming lives today, not just to name them, but to dissect them, to expose their root causes and to understand how they take control. For whatever overcomes a person, that he is enslaved. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 19. Social media addiction, the trap of validation. It starts with curiosity, an innocent glance at a screen. What's trending? Who liked my post? Who commented on my picture? Each notification triggers a dopamine release, a small hit of pleasure that keeps you coming back. But soon, it's no longer just about connection. It becomes an obsession. What fuels it? The fear of missing out, the desire for validation, the pressure to be seen. Social media preys on our need for attention, making us constantly chase likes, comments, and shares. We refresh, we scroll, we engage, until hours are lost in a world that isn't even real. The high comes from the approval of others, but when the screen turns off, reality feels empty. So we go back, craving another dose. And the cycle continues. Am I now seeking the approval of men or of God? Galatians 1, verse 10. Video game addiction, the illusion of achievement. The game begins as entertainment, a way to unwind, a challenge to overcome. But the more we play, the more we crave. The thrill of leveling up, the rush of victory, it feels real even though it's digital. What causes this addiction? The desire for accomplishment, the need to escape reality, the pressure to win. Games offer rewards that life often does not: instant gratification, progress, and recognition. The high comes from the next achievement, the next unlock, the next challenge. But when the game is over, reality feels dull in comparison, and so we dive back in, seeking that rush all over again. An idle person will suffer hunger. Proverbs 19:15. Pornography addiction, a prison of pleasure. It starts with curiosity, a single video, a moment of indulgence. But what begins as a private pleasure quickly spirals into a relentless craving. What causes it? The hunger for intimacy, the escape from loneliness, the artificial fulfillment of desire. The more it is consumed, the more the mind becomes desensitized, demanding more extreme content to reach the same level of stimulation. The high is short-lived, and afterward, emptiness, guilt, a sense of loss. But the cycle repeats because the mind now craves what it was never meant to depend on. Flee from sexual immorality. 1 Corinthians 6:8. Shopping addiction, the high of possession, the thrill of buying something new, the excitement of unboxing, the satisfaction of acquiring. But what happens when shopping turns into a need rather than a choice? What fuels it? The illusion of self-worth, the pressure to keep up, the temporary escape from sadness or boredom. Advertisements promise happiness through material things, and for a moment it feels true. But the high fades, and the need for the next purchase takes over. Do not lay up for yourself treasures on earth. Matthew 6:19. Drug addiction, the hijacking of the mind. Drugs promise escape, a moment of relief, a detachment from pain. But the cost is always higher than the temporary pleasure. What leads to it? Trauma, peer pressure, the need to numb emotions. Drugs alter the brain's chemistry, creating a craving so powerful that the body and mind surrender completely. The high is euphoric, but it's always followed by a deeper crash, and each time, the body demands more. Do not be drunk with wine, for that is debauchery. Ephesians 5:18. Alcohol addiction, the illusion of freedom, a drink to relax, a sip to unwind, but over time it becomes the only way to cope. What fuels it? Stress, social pressure, the desire to forget. The world normalizes drinking, making it seem harmless, but for many it turns into a chain they cannot break. The high is relaxation, but the aftermath is dependence, and soon it's no longer a choice, it's a need. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging. Proverbs 20 verse 1. Gambling addiction, the chase for more, the rush of risk, the thrill of winning, the hope of fortune. But gambling is designed to take more than it gives. What causes this addiction? The false belief in luck, the desperation for financial breakthrough, the adrenaline rush of uncertainty. The next bet feels like it will be the big one, but the house always wins. The high is the win, but the loss is always greater. In every addiction, there is a common thread, the search for fulfillment in something that cannot truly satisfy. The craving is never ending because the void cannot be filled with temporary pleasures, but there is hope. Recognizing the trap is the first step. Seeking help is the next. Addiction does not have to define you. There is a way out. But the journey begins with a choice to break free. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos on breaking free from addiction.